Hey, this is Andy. I'm going to talk to you about using layer comps in Photoshop to mimic the states functionality in Fireworks. So without further ado, let's go into Fireworks to start this off. Here we are. I have a simple, very simple navigation design that I threw together for this where I have a drop down, I have several states of a drop down, and I would like to make it easier to get to them without having to go through the layers palette and find what that layer is and turn it on and turn it off to get the desired view. So to make that simpler for myself, I will go over to the states palette where there is always one with every Fireworks document. There has to be at least one state, but you can take that and duplicate the state by dragging it down to the new state icon. It will duplicate it with the same name, but they are two different states. So to make it different, I'm going to activate the open navigation layer, which just shows a navigation. And now if I switch between the two states, I don't actually have to change the visibility of any one layer. And this could be a huge benefit, especially when it comes to more complex PSDs where you have to go find basically what layers are which, activate them to get the desired view. And of course, the more complex the PSD, the more difficult it is to find what you're looking for. Luckily, CS6 Beta has a search functionality for layers, but if things aren't named correctly or if things are really unorganized, it doesn't help very much, so keep that in mind. So how do we make this work in Photoshop? Let's go over to Photoshop and check it out. So here we are. I have the same file open in Photoshop. It's a PSD though. So how are we going to get the states functionality to work here in Photoshop? Well, we first need to use the layer comps palette. So let's go over there. Window, layer comps. And I'm going to create new layer comps based on different states. So first I'm going to, as in the other file, open. Well, actually, I'm going to create an initial state. This, unlike Fireworks, doesn't have one, so let's create it. I'm going to call this closed navigation. You can see there are several things to save in a state. You have the visibility, the position, and appearance. So you can actually experiment with different layer styles if you want and save that as a layer comp and switch between them. Same with position. It's almost like a history state. But in this case, we're using it only to save the visibility. So save it. Okay. I'm going to activate the products dropdown. I'm going to save that as a state. Call it Open Products 1. And as I dig around, I notice that there are two menus, the one you see now and then a second level. Say for music, a second level drop down. So I'm going to save this as a state. Open Products 2. As you can see, it's actually better than to use this than to go through and basically try your luck at getting the desired view. If I shut one off and not the other, I might have some extra elements floating around that I don't really want. So yeah, this just makes it so much easier. And then finally, I'll turn those off and go to the About Us dropdown. Save that as a comp. Open About. Okay, we have our states. So to switch between them, you just have to click in the Layer Comps palette. Kind of neat, kind of helpful. I don't actually have to change anything in layers at all. So the benefit of this also is that it's backwards compatible with Fireworks, so I'll save it, go back to Fireworks, close the PNG I was working off of, and then open the PSD that I just saved. When you open up the file, it'll actually list different layer comps, the ones that we just created. So I can start with any one of these states to edit off of, which is kind of convenient if you're a Fireworks user. So there, I just have the navigation the way I want it. So that is all there is to layer comps, at least when it comes to using them for web design. I absolutely love using these to make it easy to change between different views without hunting and pecking and searching fruitlessly for layers that may or may not exist or may not be on correctly, but this makes it a whole lot easier for me. So I hope you find it useful, and thanks. Bye.